know that we have to bridge the subject. A subject of, well, a young lady who was an avid blood donor but needed blood at the time that she needed it most, but just couldn't get it. But apparently also is an avid blood donor, but would just not be giving the blood for the transfusion by the medical officers. And so we decided to call in the public relation manager for the National Blood Service, and Stephen Adaiban is here. Good morning to you, Stephen.
Good morning, Roland.
Okay, you may have heard the story.
Yes.
Okay. Usually, what happens if you're a blood donor, and then you want blood? Are you supposed to be giving for free? What's the protocol?
Let me say good morning to our viewers and express our sympathy to the bereaved family. This matter has come to our attention, and as you may be aware, the National Blood Service, we are an agency under the Ministry of Health, mandated by government to coordinate activities of blood donation in the country, and also make sure that the blood is available, make it safe for blood transfusion at the various hospitals and clinics around us. So we don't just supply blood to only government facilities, but we do to the private facilities as well. And the question you asked me, whether when you need blood, you're supposed to get it for free. That is not the case. Blood is not sold, it's not for sale. We want the public to understand that blood is not for sale. And you're not supposed to get it for free as well. The point is that the blood that we transfuse at the hospitals, it goes through processes. And the processes involves money. For example, if you go to a private lab to have your lab test or check, your blood level and other things like that, you pay some sort of money. And so our end, we also go through that same process. We do test on the blood, HIV test, we do hepatitis B, we do various other tests on it. And these things are very expensive. The blood bag that we use to collect the blood is also expensive. We need to buy them before we can do the collection. And as I speak with you now, government is not supporting us in that direction. And so the internally generated funds that we use, that is what we use to sustain our operations at the National Blood Service. And so nobody gets the blood for free, whether you are a donor or non-donor. You need to pay what we call a processing fee before you are giving the blood. But in the case of donors, you have access to what we call a donor certificate or a donor card, that red card that we give to voluntary donors. And it's supposed to guarantee you some privileges. One, you're supposed to have access to the blood at the critical moment that you need the blood. Two, unlike someone who is not a donor, you are given the privilege to have the access to the blood without replacing it. But somebody who is not a donor will insist that the person, replaces the blood that he's been given. So that is the difference. That is the difference. Okay. And so people should understand that blood is not for sale. But
what you're telling me, Stephen, has this been circulated to various health facilities, whether public or private? This information?
Yes, Roland.
Is it a standard practice?
All the facilities are aware.
They are aware.
All the facilities are aware. And mind you, we are the central point where all the other facilities come to, get the blood to their facility. And so when they come...
Even facilities up north, or let's say...
Yeah, no, we have 3 area blood centers. We have the southern area, which is Accra and its environs, the central area, which is Ashanti region, Brong-Ahafo, and then the northern area. So Komfo-Anokye is the central point for the central area. Then the northern area is the Tamale Hospital is the central point for the northern area. And so people up there or in the central belt, they go to these facilities for blood. But people around, in Accra and its environs, they come to our facility here. So people from Cape Coast, Volta region...
Oh, no, they come to Accra?
They come to Accra.
Okay.
So as you mean, when they come to Accra to take the blood, mind you, especially the private hospitals, that is our understanding, that they sometimes rent ambulance to come for the blood. And so when they do that, they go...
Because the blood has to be put in a certain condition.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so when they go, they decide to put something...
And it's something you have no control over.
We have no control over. When the blood gets
This incident
out,
that happened, did it happen at a private facility?
Yes, that
happened
is
at
our
a private
understanding.
facility. All right.
The patient actually was admitted at the Atomic Hospital. But then the blood issue happened at a private facility, the Shoreman Community Clinic or Hospital. Yes.
Okay, so at the end of the day, I know that you're empathizing with the current situation, but it also means that it's because all these are coming about because you have acute challenges. You don't have enough of the blood. The funding also to your facility is not available, so it kind of constrains you.
Yeah.
That is why sometimes the cost on what you have to give to get blood is a bit astronomical. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, to an extent. And the point is that, well, we know that it's a burden on the patient, which ought not to be. But currently, we are in talks with the government to make sure that the health insurance scheme will be able to absorb, some of these costs. If it happens so, then it means that the public will be relieved of this kind of challenge. But until then, I'm afraid that we need to go through this difficult times. And then again, the major difficulty we're having now is that we are unable to control or coordinate activities of this private and even government hospitals who come for blood from our facility, all because we don't have the legal backing. We've been crying over this bill issue for quite some time now, but
and the bill would have enabled the service
bill would give us that power or the legal backing to make sure that we enforce certain policies that, look, all facilities that run blood transfusion services, you're supposed to charge the processing fee at a certain threshold.
Okay.
But as it stands now, we are unable to do that because...
because of the limitations by law?
Exactly.
Okay. So now that this has happened, you can only empathize or express your sympathies. How do you hope that in the future, perhaps we can better regulate this, either by public education or whatever?
As a first step, we have instituted an investigative committee to investigate this matter and then get to the bottom of this issue so that we'll let the public know exactly what the situation is. Currently, as I speak with you now, we have quite a number of blood, so we will expect facilities that do not have blood to come to our facility and then get the blood. The other thing is that, yes, about the processing fee, we think that maybe the public, do not really understand that bit. And so that is where our focus is going to be henceforth, to make sure that we educate the public to understand the process of the processing fee that we talk about. So when you go to a facility and you are asked to pay that processing fee, please do understand that it is not the cost of the blood, because blood is priceless. You cannot pay for...
So you're only paying for the processes.
You are only
the
paying
costs
for
that you incurred
exactly
in putting together a clean blood.
So that we will have clean blood, make it very safe for the person who is
all right. So this is what we decided to do. We decided to hit the street and ask some of you what you think about the scenario that happened that led to the loss of the young lady's life. And this is what some of you said.
Maybe if they should have taken good care of my daughter for me, after maybe I could have gotten the money and be given to the doctor back. But for them to tell me that there is no money and that they are not going to take care of the child, later I came to realize that he's dead, and maybe I got the money later. I feel very bad about it. That if they could have saved their life, I would have given the money to them after I've gotten the money.
So would you donate blood again?
Will I donate blood? Yeah. It's a charity work that I'm doing. If maybe I've been in a situation that way, it doesn't mean that I should cease doing good to others. Perhaps the other person that needs my blood would be innocent about that. It shouldn't happen to me. So if maybe it comes for me to give that blood, I have to.
Sure, you should do. It's one of your human things that you should do to help others. The fact that you lose a beloved doesn't mean that you should stop doing what you are doing in life. Life still goes on with you, so I believe keeping on doing it is not bad.
Actually, I feel very bad about that because.
And so we still have Stephen Adaiba. He's a public relations manager for the National Blood Service. And so your conclusion remarks on this, and you can see that people are still enthusiastic about it. But that's what you want. You want a lot more people to be donating.
Yes, Roland. I think blood donation is a civic responsibility. If we say that because of what has happened, we're not going to donate blood again, then it means that as I speak with you, per WHO, research, every second somebody dies because of non-availability of blood. And so we need to take this as a civic responsibility, and then make sure, know very well that because it's a voluntary service, you cannot say that you're not going to donate. You may not know when you will need blood or a relative will need blood. So all of us must come together and make sure that blood is always available and there will be no shortage of blood in the country anymore.
Thank you very much. And we've been speaking to Stephen Adaiba. He is a public relations manager for the National Blood Service.